Hello my friends, this is Michel Jacobi, straight back here from the Carpathian Mountains of Ukraine. I'm living here already for 14 years, maintaining rare domestic animals like Hucul horses and Carpathian water buffaloes, mountain cows and so on. I have as a hobby for fun sometimes podcast conversation with interesting people. The last conversation I had is with Klaus Ferdinand Hemfling, probably the most well-known horseman in the world, especially here in Europe. He's quite interesting because also he's doing coaching, like he's taking 1.4 million euro for 1 year coaching and having 1.8 million followers on Facebook and so on and so on. It's quite interesting because the way he's communicating and working with horses is quite convincing. So just have a look at him if you're interested in animal communication. But I agree with him on some points which are quite critical. Also, I had a conversation with my well-known friend Claudia from Werlhof. She's a former professor on university and working on questions of capitalism and matriarchism and patriarchism and all those isms. She's 80 years old and having quite a lot of experience with with natives and so on. Practical experience, you know. And we all three do agree. I mean, I'm not on their level, although I already achieved quite interesting stuff like rewilding horses in the Danube Delta, like saving Carpathian buffaloes from extinction and so on. But anyway, what they achieved is much more. Anyway, what we do agree on is that the horses in general, especially here in Europe, are quite, for almost 1 century, in a very bad situation. So we do agree that our culture is dissolving in a way that our relationship with nature is falling apart. So our relationship with the river and with the animals and with the black soil and so on. And I'm very much into conservation of those traditional relations. Because I think the humans are the nature. And the nature is a living organism, and without humans, it's much less worth. And the horses, I think they do agree, because they can't live here when we don't take care for them. And that's the fact. So the traditional way is that you work with the horses in the winter. You pull your firewood and your hay from the mountains or wherever it is stored and bring it to your house. And in the summer, you let them free because you bring them to those mountains here, mostly on the alpine meadows, on the higher levels of the mountains, where they can roam free in a natural herd, in a natural group. And this is completely falling apart, and only here in Ukraine and maybe some eastern countries still on a rudimentary level existing. So NGOs like ours and my work are trying to find the best balance between modern world and old tradition. And what we are going to do is we're trying to establish another group of Hucul horses. These are not only a very primitive breed that's still existing here in Europe. In the books it's written it's the most primitive breed of Europe. Primitive in relation to wild horses that once have been roaming here free. So most close to the extinct wild horse called mountain tarpan. So you see like how they are acting, moving with zebra stripes and spinal fruit, we call it. Anyway, those phenotypical things doesn't matter so much. Much more interesting for me is that we maintain a natural circumstance with them where they can be free and breed the way they have been living and breeding for many, many thousand years. And here in the Carpathian Mountains, and with my privileged situation, we can afford to do this. So what I need from you, if you are able to listen up to now, although the river is quite loud, is of course money, like always. Because we just need to build a little shelter. We have very nice people that are supporting us and buying animals for us and giving us land that we can use. Like in front of me there's like 8 hectares and above me there's like 200 hectares that we can use. All we need is a little shelter so that we can prolong the stay of the horses in this area so that they can pasture until the snow is too high. So I would like to build this summer shelter here in this valley, and I do need about 8 to 12,000 euro for this. So if you like what I'm doing and you can convince yourself that I'm doing this publicly already for 14 years and that I'm having a good reputation because I do something with the donations I get and also the results. Anyway, I already talked about this. You can convince yourself and just give me some money if you trust me, because I really would like to establish something for them. And when you are a serious donor, you can also come and visit and have a look how we are doing it. I will also show you all the process here on this YouTube channel. And I'm really, really grateful if you can help me with a small donation. I only have a German bank account and a Ukrainian one. So I don't have PayPal or anything like this. I don't even know how to transfer money. I have been using this Western Union or MoneyGram several times. These are the only ways you can donate money. Or you just send it by post or come here personally. Yeah, just write me. I leave my information down there in the notes here at the description of the video. And I would be really happy if you are with me and supporting to maintain this beautiful landscape. I don't know whether you see it, but the ground there is just covered in flowers. And this landscape can only exist because of pasturing animals. And we are here in the biggest virgin forest of the European red beech. And in this forest there is patches of grassland that has been used by those traditional shepherds that have been living here. Still a few of them are still existing, but only a very, very small percentage of what formerly has been there. So all this will grow with thick bushes and lose the diversity and the value if we don't keep those pasturing beautiful animals on natural circumstances. So let me show you how it's working and join me on my journey, and thank you for your support.